Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I did a little short video yesterday with my first initial reaction to getting to finally, after all these years, meet Tori Amos in person at her book signing yesterday. I've tried a couple times to stage door her before a show, and I've seen people have luck doing that, and she's always so nice and gracious, and I thought if I ever did run into her there, it would be a good experience. But yesterday was kind of perfect because it was a pre-planned, ordained, I knew I was going to see her moment, and I was able to try to prepare myself, which for me meant pretty much having a nervous breakdown all day long. I say that in jest. But it was very emotional, because her music to me is very much attached to extremely important parts of my life. Now, I've told this story other places, and I'm just going to say it here now, is that, her music was playing when I found out that my mom died when I was 22, okay? And the song was God, and I always found that very ironic. But because I loved her so much as an artist, even then, I just looked at it as that she was there for me in that moment, and her music was there for me from that point forward, even more, frankly. And it's interesting how music can play such a huge part, but this was, accidentally on purpose. I'm not sure exactly how the universe played that all out, but one day I guess maybe we'll find out, or we won't. I don't know. This is not for that. But the thing is, her music is so important to me. She's also important to me as a person, too. She's, is a very cool person who says and does some really cool things. Is very, queer affirming and queer positive, which I always loved. Especially as a young kid, you would see her in interviews or things that she would say in her songs that you knew she was cool with gay people, if not possibly a little, queer herself. I don't think she's ever came out as bisexual, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. Just the fact that you knew she was an ally was definitely something very affirming for somebody like me. So I'm just playing the Tales of the Librarian CD just to have some Tori in the background while I talk about meeting her. I love that Barnes & Noble at Union Square. It's so beautiful. I'm going to look at the history of the building. It looks like a factory, frankly, or it used to be a factory, a very beautiful, ornate factory, or some sort of office building. I have no idea, but it's really beautiful. If you could ever get there, go there. It's great. The Q&A session initially was great. It was her and her publisher, and he was great. He was you could tell he was a fan, and he actually reached out to her to sort of, pitch this to her, and she went all for it. It's a children's book about a character called Little Tori and the muses that, honestly, it's probably based exactly on her life, slightly fictionalized, I guess, to the point. But it seemed very much autobiographical, obviously. I mean, and then she gets a magical piano. There's, obviously these are things that are all themes in Tori's life. The book itself I actually have put away already because it's signed. I want to keep it unopened and brand new. I'm not really a collector like that, but for some reason I'm just going to leave that just what it is. She actually read us a little bit of the story at the Q&A section, which was really nice. She sounded a little hoarse. I think she's recording or just getting done recording, so she probably destroyed her voice, but good for her. For us, I mean, not in general, not forever. So yeah, it was really cool just to see her in that little very small room and to be so close to her there. And then afterwards, we had to stand back, and they pulled us row by row, and they put up a screen, which I thought was very nice because people were going to be emotional. Her music is emotional. She talks about emotional topics. She's a champion for things that make people emotional, especially with her founding Rain. I believe it's a Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. That pretty much will draw people on its own to her. So some of her fans have been through some stuff, and seeing her is going to be extremely emotional. Now, I knew I have a story too that's very emotional attached to her music, but I didn't want to tell her that. I didn't want to. and like I said in my other video, the thing I didn't want to do was like make a fool of myself in any way, you know. I wanted it to be perfect, you know. So like, as I get up online, I had my phone out, and the security guard came to like sort of like yell at me, but I just put it in my pocket, and he's like, "Good." He's like, "Put that away." And I was like, "No, I'm cool, I'm cool." And like she looks at me, and like she like holds her hands out to me, and like I couldn't believe she was standing there. It was like the coolest thing ever, you know, like she was right there, you know. And I was like, hold it together, Kevin, and I almost like lost it, like I am right now. And like when I touched her hands, everything just sort of like focused, and it was like, oh my God, I looked right into her eyes. And it's funny, my friend Mandy was like, what did she smell like? And I was trying to like catch a weirdly, you know, whatever. It was just a very quick thing. She was holding my hand and like playing with my hand and like touching my hand and stuff. And I was telling her, you know, as much as I could, like, thank you, and you know, you've been there for everything, you know, the good and the bad, and thank you for your music, and I can't wait to see what you're gonna do next. And she was so sweet and so nice about everything. And at the end, when I was like, I didn't make a fool of myself. No, she's like, you didn't make a fool of yourself. It was such a cute moment between us. And then we took our snapshot together, and she put her hand on my shoulder, like sort of like on me, whatever. And I was just like full of grin, you know. And I'm going to songs that really just flip through her music a little bit here. It's funny because oh, I love this song, so sad. I can't wait to finish doing her records, by the way, talking about all her albums even more after this, because I feel very inspired. You know, I was afraid that I was going to say something or do something idiotic, whatever, and I totally didn't. Just left, and it was after it, my friend was with me, and hey, Cal, and she met her afterwards, and then we sort of met at the ramp on the bottom, and it was, honestly, I felt like I was in a daze. I felt like I had just taken something wonderful, and like it was like euphoric is a great word for it. Like I felt like lifted off the ground, pretty much, you know, just like full of like beautiful energy, and just so thankful to be able to. I have to change the song. I'm gonna start crying because I was just watching her on Letterman, and you could tell that it was around that time. Anyway, I love this song. Everybody want a piece of Mary. Anyway, where was I? I don't even know. Oh yeah, so we had just finished, and I felt like really like full of life, you know, just full of like happiness, and just to have been able to say to her, thank you, you know, like it's very important to me. You know, I'm a big Joni Mitchell fan, as you know, if you watch any of these videos, or if you know me in any way, and at the Gorge, I got very close to her on stage and was able to scream thank you to her, which was very important to me because their music is so important to me, but I want to thank them for doing it, you know? I'm sure, you know, Joni talks about the process is very difficult emotionally on her. Well, that's kind of how I feel about, I'm sure, Tori too. So to get to thank her and, you know, let her know that her music is, there was a room full of people waiting to see her and say probably the same exact thing, which I thought was great. That's another thing I loved, was being around Tori fans, which was always been a lot of fun. I've been a Tori fan since the mid '90s, and going to certain events or concerts and stuff. I always loved the group of Tori fans. It was a huge mix of like very interesting people on every level. It's like it's just like every mix of people is there, and I love that about her music and about her fandom. It's really cool being a part of the Joni family. It's like we have our own thing, but like Tori fans are a whole other creature, and I love it. It's so great. The people behind me actually are, I don't know, they were, the way they were talking, they were like connected in some way, and I was cracking up laughing to myself. I was like, wow, they're like in the Joni Mafia. And I went downstairs to the street while we were waiting. I had a little herbal refreshment, and I came back upstairs with a little more courage, and I was like, excuse me, are you in the Joni? Are you in the Tori Mafia? Because I call me and my friends the Joni Mafia as a joke. Anyway, I'm rambling. It was an experience that I'll never forget. It was so cool to meet this goddess in person, you know, somebody who I literally worshipped, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't care. I love her. Love her music. Love everything about her. Her music has been there for me. You know, ripped me off the floor and said, "Get up, kid. Let's go. Onward," you know? And although I'll admit, the last few albums I'm just not like as into as the first few, which is just, I don't know what that is. Is it circumstantial? Is it like our ages? Is it like, I don't know what it is. I just don't know, but it's not no shade on her. I mean, she's really doing it. She's putting out some really great stuff. It's just for some reason I'm not connecting it with it like I have the first like maybe like 6 or 7 albums. You know? Anyway, I just wanted to get a little longer form version of this. Wanted to give a shout out to my friend Kelly Joe, who was there with me. We had the best day. It was great to spend that time with you and a fellow Tori fan forever. Now I'm all subconscious. I'm like, have I said Joni instead of Tori? I hope not. You know, a couple letters and an I get, you know, confused. But no, it was a very special day. And in fact, the card I gave her a card with handwritten, you know, sentiments in it. And the front of it says, "Today is a special day." And flowers and butterflies on it. It was really beautiful. Honestly, it was a special day. It was, even though it was freezing out, you know, it was a very warm, beautiful feeling all around, because the person that sang this song, who wrote this song, the hands that, and I said to my friend this morning, "Is this too much?" And she said, "I had the same thought, so I'm not embarrassed to say it." It's like, I love her piano playing so much, and the fact that the hands that play that piano held my hands, it's very special to me, you know? It just is. And if somehow the universe has Tori see this video, I hope she understands how important she is to all of us. Not just me. It's everybody in that room could do a video like this if they could, you know? And I love that. About her fandom, it's just amazing. So here's a wonderful day. To the rest of your day, listen to some Tori. I'm listening to Tori all day, all week. All week, I just can't. I'm like on overload. It was so wonderful to meet her, and even better that she was so nice and so fabulous. I had no doubt, zero. In fact, she was actually more beautiful and full of light and energy than I even thought, and I thought a lot. So, Tori, thank you from the very bottom of my heart, from Michelle Catini's white Nissan to that horrible day in June of 2000 to this amazing day yesterday. You've always been there. Your music has always been there, and I'm so thankful to have been along this ride, like almost from the very beginning. You know, I think I was like a couple years late, but I've been here for a long time. So here's to Tori. Here's to all Tori's fans. Love you guys, and love you for watching my channel and for being supportive, and lots and lots of love. And let's listen to some Tori, okay? This part right here. The backing vocals there, ugh. Bye, everybody.